when I signed, I didn't really know what was in my contract. I was young. I think I was like 20. And I didn't know everything that was in that contract. So when I got with Roc Nation, I got management, real management. I got real lawyers. And they was like, do you know that this is in your contract? And I was like, oh, damn, that's crazy. No, I didn't know. So I'm not mad at 1501. I wasn't upset because I'm thinking in my head, oh, well, everybody cool. We all family. It's cool. It's nice. Let me just ask some niggas to renegotiate my contract. Soon as I said I want to renegotiate my contract, everything went left. Like, it just all went bad. It all went left. So now they telling the bitch that she can't drop no music.
So here we are in 2020 yet again, another artist dealing with issues in their contracts with the label. This time, instead of it being a major label, this time it's an indie label. And unfortunately, these situations keep happening. And I wanted to speak to first the issues within Meg Thee Stallion's contract and the way you can leverage yourself as an artist so that you don't fall victim to these same practices. So number one, Meg signed what is known as a 360 deal. Now, what is a 360 deal? In the music industry, you have different ways of making money as an artist. You have your music sales, your licensing deals, your endorsements. When you do touring, you do shows, and when you sell your products, you have what you call as merchandise. And so many different things, like a celebrity. If you're on a celebrity status, you get things like celebrity appearances and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. But the issue with the 360 deal is that when you're signed to a label that has that in place, what happens is all of those different things that you do as an artist, the label collects off of. So for example, your shows, when you go touring and stuff like that, they can collect off of that. When you sell t-shirts and when you sell any type of item, stickers or sneaker, whatever you offer as an artist, and you put that up for sale, the label is entitled to a percentage if that is the clause in your contract. So the contract that she signed gave the label 60% of all earnings of her music. Any miscellaneous earnings and any direct sales of her music and anything in between. So the label was getting 60%, which means that she gets 40%. Basically, obviously, it's 100% pie. So that gets split up to different ways. And when you have a record agreement or just a general song in general, you have to split it up different ways between whether you're working with collaborators or whether you're working with the label or a publisher or anything similar to that effect. So what she did in signing the label, she gave them 60% of the rights to all of the songs that she puts out while under that contract for however long the term is. And the unfortunate part is because it was a 360 deal, it extended into her touring, it extended to her merchandising. If her music is used on a TV show, if it's used in a film, if it's used in a commercial, if it is used for just about anything, to promote anything, to sell anything, to use anything that involves Meg Thee Stallion, the label gets a cut off. And that's really unfortunate because as an artist, if a label is signing you, it's because you have value and there's a worth to you. So artists, you need to leverage your impact, really, to be honest, like leverage your influence and stuff like that, and really kind of know what to ask for. And I know it's kind of difficult because the business is a lot of numbers, it gets tricky, but take some time to really look into what these contracts are saying. And if you don't understand it, feel free to reach out to anybody that does. Really like reputable sources though. Don't go to your cousin that was in music once upon a time, or your uncle that used to sell records. Like, go to somebody that you know that and you can trust. Or hire a lawyer or anybody that could look over your agreements for you, because you could easily look over the contract and see red flags. There's certain terms that are kind of like hidden and covert, which mean certain things. And if you're not careful, you may sign your rights away. And knowing your rights is like one of the key things into being successful in music. Speaking for myself, as a producer, I do collaborations with artists. We have to work out deals with splits and everything like that in terms of how much of the money do I get when a song is used, and and how much they're paying me to license my beat to use to create their new song and whatever they're doing. But I'm also an artist as well. I have instrumental albums on Spotify, shameless plug. But even with those instrumental albums, I own 100% of the track that is being played. So anytime my music gets used, then the money comes to me. Now, if I had a label involved and a label was releasing my work, then we would have to work out the agreements there. But I still have the leverage because never forget, the label is riding your wave. They want what you have. And there's a way to utilize the label as a tool to get what you need, because obviously the labels provide a resource that you could not provide on your own. Like unless you had a huge budget or, access to studios or access to cameras, videographers, graphic design artists. These are things that you can do yourself as an independent artist. But obviously having a label makes things a little bit easier. So even beyond the label services that they're providing you, you are providing them your songs, your music, your ideas, your intellectual property, the ideas that you have in your mind that no one else can give you. That's something that comes from you. So the labels are tapping into that, and you guys are going into business together. It should really be a partnership, but many times it's treated as a monopoly where you're groveling to the label to say, like, help me and sign me and make me a success. No, it still takes work as an artist, and that work should be valued, and you should articulate that value to the label that's trying to sign you. If they didn't see value in you, they would not reach out to you. So because you have that leverage, you need to use that leverage to get what you need, and also, be able to build a beneficial relationship with the label. I'm an advocate for going independent. I will always say that's the route, but not everybody can do that. I understand. But if you are going to sign with the label, be sure to know what the splits are. Be sure to know what you owe them by them signing you as an artist. That money that they give you as an advance, it's not something to spend. It's not something to go shop at the mall, or buy everything that you wanted to buy, or treat people around you to things. It's not really for that at all. It's really for the production of your album. And what is production? Production is the recording of the album. It's the getting the actual music that you're recording to, whether that's hiring a producer or you're finding beats online, and however you get the music, getting that process done, recording it, mixing it, mastering it, and even packaging it, that is part of your production cost. And then you have promotion and marketing, and then you have touring, and there's some other things involved in there as well. But those top three, the production, which is recording, mixing, mastering, just the overall creation of the music, as well as the manufacturing of any physical product that is related to your music. That's production. That's number one. Number two, you have your promotion and your marketing. That's, when you hear about the artist's album on Facebook, on Spotify, when there's an ad, when you see a billboard, all of that is part of the budget. And then number three, then you have your touring. So that the shows that you do and all the, the venues that you go to as a part of promoting your album as well, which it kind of all ties in together. But your label can kind of handle a lot of those things because they have relationships in place. So they do have a certain kind of leverage as well, but because you're providing the product, because you are the product, there is inherent value to what you bring to the table as well. Before any of those budgets come into play, you have value yourself as an artist. So leverage that value and get what's yours. When a label signs you to a deal, they're basically licensing the recordings that are based on the ideas that came out of your mind. So just to kind of break it down a little bit, not to get too deep with it, but before a song is recorded, a song is an idea and it starts in your head, and that's known as intellectual property. When it moves from intellectual property to something that is called a tangible medium. What is a tangible medium? When you record that file on your voice note, or you record it on a microphone and you save it. When you record it as a voice note on your phone. When you record to Logic, you play notes on the MIDI keyboard, or you record, do a quick scratch vocal recording. That is your copyright. And a lot of people kind of get this confused because they think you have to register with the Copyright Office in order to obtain a copyright. That's a little bit of a discrepancy. You should register your copyrights at the office, but you don't get your copyright from the office. You get a copyright from the moment that the idea in your head makes it to something tangible. something that is recorded, something that is written down. You could make a video of yourself singing the song. That is your copyright. But not to get too far off topic, what the record label is licensing from you is the right to that recording that you make. So with all the recording and the mixing and the mastering and the production, it's licensing that portion of your copyright so that it can release it out into the world. And because of that, because they don't own the totality of your song, there are, like I said, there are multiple parts to a song. The recording part is where the label comes in, but you still have another side, which is called publishing, which speaks to the underlying, what's known as the underlying composition. So you have the song that you recorded on your microphone in your studio, and then you also have the underlying composition, the idea that that recording is based on. Just keeping that in mind, outside of just the recording itself, they should not even be tapping into your touring. It shouldn't be tapping into your merchandising. They shouldn't be tapping into your licensing income. They shouldn't be, if you do an interview with Complex or Revolt or Joe Budden podcast or wherever you're at, your label should not get a piece of that at all, because that is something that you're doing independent of the label. Or even if the label kind of organizes it, they don't own that portion of your career. And if you have a good manager and a good lawyer, they will negotiate that for you. But even if you don't, these are things that you need to know when you go into meeting with the label. And don't just be confused by all the glitz and the glamour and all the success stories that come from that label. That doesn't mean that it's going to be the same for you. You have to be in charge of your success, and you have to make those decisions that matter early on, so that later on in life that you can be way more successful. And unfortunately for Meg Thee Stallion, she signed an agreement that entitled the label to 60% of everything that she made, and the 360 deal is all around. So, whatever she does in the music industry for however that term is, I don't know how long her deal is lasting. I don't know what will take her to get out of that contract. I don't know the specifics of that. But as long as she's on that deal, she can't go and make music without the label's consent or knowledge or involvement. So that can really tie up your creativity as an artist. And to really ensure that you don't get taken advantage of, you need to read carefully what is written in these contracts, and you need to know what you want as an artist as well. Maybe you don't want to just take home 40%. Maybe you want to take home 50%. Maybe you want to be the 60 and you want the label to be the 40. But if you don't know what to ask for, and if you don't know that you can ask for these things, this is not like anybody that tells you that a certain percentage or split is a standard, they're just trying to take advantage of you and your ignorance and not knowing what you deserve. They are riding your wave. You're not riding theirs. So just keep that in mind as you pursue your craft in this music industry. Be independent if you can help it. If you do feel like you need a label and their resources to help you out, I understand. But just maintain your leverage and know what you deserve and know your rights, and you'll be successful in this music business. So that's it for this video. If you have any comments or questions or things that I didn't cover in this video, please leave a comment and let me know. We'll talk about it. Like and share and subscribe to this channel. And I'll see you guys in the next video. All right, peace.